Hey everyone, welcome to Data and Donuts. My name's Aaron. I'm here with my friend and colleague, Catherine Parker. Today we're going to talk about a research process and really talk about the different steps that she may take as an analyst or others may want to consider taking when helping to collaborate with individuals outside of the office or individuals that have ideas for research or types of inquiries that come about. So before we get into our conversation today, I would like Catherine to tell us a little bit about herself.
Hello. Well, as Aaron mentioned, my name is Catherine, and I am a research analyst at College of the Canyons in Santa Clarita, California. I have been a research analyst at College of the Canyons for approximately 11 years. I'm also a part-time psychology instructor at College of the Canyons, and I also teach at Los Angeles Valley College. And in addition to my work within the California community college system, I've just taken up contract work. So I've done projects with, I've helped people with their dissertations. I published a couple of validation assessments on predicting who is a high, medium, or low risk for those who are on probation, and making sure that we're predicting folks accurately and there's no disproportionate impact. And then I'm also working currently with Calbright College, which is the only online California community college, and I'm helping them develop, and I'm going to be teaching their data analysis program. So, there's lots of stuff you can do in the world of research beyond what's at your desk.
Excellent. And so kind of with that thought in mind, when someone comes to you with an idea or an inquiry, how do you start that conversation when someone said, hey, I'd really like to know X? How do you walk me through that or more of that consultation process?
So what I like to do is I like to get the big picture. I want to know, what are your goals? What are you thinking? What do you think the outcomes are going to be? And really, before we get to work, what are you going to do with the data? What are you hoping to get out of it? And how are you going to use it to inform your work? And, so that I can best help that person.
I think that's excellent. And so then as you start going through that kind of research process for exploratory work to understand their purpose and direction, my next question kind of goes into what are typical research methods that you apply when someone comes and say if they want to know a specific thing about a student population?
So start with broad descriptive statistics, and then I might disaggregate right based on whatever they need, and then just kind of look to see what's going on, like what is popping out. And then also I like to pull or look at the historical data to see if, are things looking the same? Are there differences? And if I see differences, well, did I do something wrong? Or was there this huge historical change like COVID, for example, that could have caused a shift? So I'm a big fan of historical data.
Excellent. A lot of the times historical data can help really tell and understand the story. And I think with that, really exploring descriptive data and patterns. But then if someone wants to say, I tried something, I'd like to know how it worked. What can you describe maybe to measure maybe some impact analysis?
Okay, so again, so it's descriptive statistics. I like to start with that and see what's going on. And then, so I don't do this much as an analyst in the California community college system, but when I do it with my contract work, wherever I see some things that stand out in my descriptive statistics, when I look to see what's going on, I might do some further statistical analyses to see, right, are these differences significant, and just kind of drill down a little bit more to see what's going on, and then talk to the stakeholder and say, hey, look, this is what I'm seeing. Is this in line with what you know? And maybe I might have to do some of my own research on something to see if this is a common phenomena, or is this what other people, this is an analysis that people have done for this particular phenomenon. So
That's
lots
excellent.
of research.
I think that's really good. And really, like I said, really putting together inferential statistics, looking to measure the differences between things. And then I know as of recent, you've been working on a project where they've been using a little bit larger data sets to try to identify what values or what factors related to students can lead to some successful outcomes.
Mhm.
And so as you go through that process of determining and running your data models, some of the things that we try to think about is, how do we validate that data? I don't know if you want to talk about a couple steps in data validation. And we kind of go through these iterative steps of, we train the data and then we validate it. And how do we test it or validate that? Do you have any things you can share on that?
So I have like this little thing in my pocket. It's called a confusion matrix. And I use that oftentimes to see, is my data looking good? Is it in line with my other analyses? And they call it a confusion matrix because it's confusing. The terminology is confusing in and of itself. But I go into Excel and I put my formulas in and I basically haven't touched it because it's so confusing, but I know that this is my accurate model. I can plug my numbers in and then let the data see if, I validate the data in that way.
No, that's awesome. And a lot of the times, especially when you can do that testing after like going through a whole cycle of data modeling, training the data, saying the model predicts this, and then actually putting it against the different actual true data to say, okay, we're going to test this. And the confusion matrix, as you explained, really says how accurate is this prediction? How many times, that if we said, hey, if you stand at the 3-point line and shoot the ball, it'll go in 33% of the time based on all of our data. And then we look at 3-point shots and we said, actually, it's like 10%. It may be off, or it's like 32%.
Maybe for you.
Yeah, probably. It's like air ball all day. But for others, like it could be, 34%, 33%, really looking like, is that close? Is that pretty accurate given like a short margin of error? So I think that's a really key thing. And I think something that you really touched on that was really helpful is including the stakeholders, what I'll call it. And so that maybe, the requester, the faculty, the classified professional, the manager, whoever it may be, the community member in the conversation throughout that. So, they're consistently learning and adapting to that. And so is there any other thoughts that you'd like to share in relation to maybe communicating your findings?
I think also, in regards to communicating, maybe, they thought of something that I didn't know about. Because sometimes, we forget, we're busy with our jobs, and maybe there's something that they realize in the data that, I'm missing something. I overlooked something, but they would know that because that this is their work, and I'm there to analyze the data for them. And right. And just, having a good working relationship with folks is so important, and being humble, and, sometimes we can, our work is important to us, and, we pride ourselves in our work, but just being open to what other people think about our data, and not getting our feelings hurt.
Sometimes it is hard after you put like 20 hours into something and then someone's like, I don't like that. I don't like what your results show. What do you mean? The data is just analyzed. But I think also having that consultation and collaboration, I think that's key, especially because it can bring a lot of contextual information to that. Or what my favorite thing is, can you add this extra data variable in, and can you plug this one more item, right? And so I think that's really, once again, as you start to collaborate, the more we interact with others, is we can kind of gather those nuances, and also helps us with kind of like questions that can lead them to, hey, is there any additional information you'd like to share? Are there any other thoughts before we get in and investing like 10, 20, 100 hours into a project? And it's like JK or the famous one, that's nice to know, right? And so I think that's our favorite. And so with that, I have a final question, which is, what's your favorite drink when comparing tea and coffee? What do you prefer?
Oh, coffee, hands down.
Okay, excellent. What brand? Is there a brand?
No, I mean, as long as it's good. I'm not trying to judge here, but no Folgers and no U-Band coffee. I can't do it. But
tastes like raisins. It legit tastes like raisins. Someone said that to me the other day, and I was like, no, it doesn't. And I took a drink out of it. I was like, oh my God, it does.
It does.
And then after I had that in my head, I just couldn't get it out. And so then I'm like, oh no.
My mom drinks it. And I'm like, I don't know how you drink this every day. And so yeah, as long as it's not that, I'm okay with it.
Excellent. No, that's good. Yeah, for me, I'm just like, where's the creamer? Where's the extra creamer when it's that? I don't mind.
No, yes. Yep.
That's cool.
I love my
Excellent.
coffee.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for hanging out today, Catherine.
Thanks,
Sounds like you have
Aaron.
a great set of endeavors in front of you. And so I'd like to hear more about that in the future. Hope you have a good rest of your day.
Thanks, you too.